Hey, welcome back, fam, to the Left, Right, Left podcast. I am still your handsome host, Marc Chabot, United States Marine Corps, retired. First, I want to start out with some thank yous. Thank you to all my viewers. Thank you to all my subscribers. I will keep saying thank you until I no longer have oxygen in my lungs. This podcast only goes as much as you support me, and I am grateful for everything that you are doing to support the channel. All funds will be donated to the Amphibious Assault Vehicle Memorial being built at Quantico, Virginia. So yes to everybody out there, and hey, we are going to make that mission happen. My guest is my very first active duty Marine that I've had on the channel. He is a phenomenal person with a great journey. I wanted to set the table for you and say that he gave this to me right before I retired. This is a drill instructor cover block. And he just understands that I'm a Boston type guy through and through. And I appreciate the fact that he gave it to me. And he has got some really cool things that he's doing. And I'm excited to have him aboard and to talk to you a little bit about it. So, Christian Moreno, welcome to the podcast, brother.
Sorry, Major. Thank you so much for having me. It means a lot. Thank you for the opportunity. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, I'm excited to have you, brother. This is like old school days of, the Sergeant Major walking around the depot and going to your duty hut and talking to you. This is fantastic.
Yeah, it's a good, brought back to memory lane. So I love it.
Absolutely, man. Hey, let's go ahead and get right into it, brother. Why don't you go ahead and tell everybody a little about where you're from and your foundation and your roots?
Hello, everybody. My name is Chris Moreno. Originally, I'm from Texas. I moved to California when I was 18. My father and mother are originally from Mexico, so I'm first generation Mexican American. But yeah, I grew up in Texas most of my life until I joined the military. Obviously, that's what brought me out to California. I'm married, and I have a beautiful dog. And yeah, we're just out here now enjoying the California weather. Making memories out here and seeing where life takes us.
That's great, man. So just to kind of set conditions for my viewers out there and your supporters, this is just as
Mm-hmm.
much for you as it is for the channel. What's some things that you did like when you were a little kid? What kind of hobbies did you have?
Oh, wow. So I think a lot of my hobbies revolved around artistic work. So I like drawing. I like listening to music. I like exploring different kinds of music. I was in a band. Um, I did a lot of painting classes. Most of my high school classes were painting. Even through middle school, it was art classes, history classes. So I think a lot of my childhood and most of my adolescent life revolved around artistic things. So the music, acting as well. The drawing. So I think it's just one of those things that have been a foundation for me to establish, what truly is my passion today.
Yeah, definitely, man. That explains why that beautiful drill instructor cover block that you gave me is just well done, and that explains it very, very well. So you have all this artistic ability, right? And you got a lot of creativity when you're a child and you're growing up, and then you came in the Marine Corps. Like, what was the decision on why you became a Marine?
Oh, I think, being a Marine for me was a way of me giving back to the country. My mom and my when my mom and father moved out here, I wanted to do something different. And I saw, where we grew up, it was rough. So I saw where my friends were headed. I saw the possibilities and the outcome of what can happen if, I stayed, hanging around with, unfortunately, the people that I hung around with, which, I love them. They're my friends. Some of them are my family, but I wanted to challenge myself and, challenge the result and the outcome of what the stigma is around where we live. And I talked to a recruiter, and I think the rest was history after that. But yeah, that's it. That's what drove me, just wanting to better myself.
A story that you and I have heard many times over and over again from thousands of recruits that aspire to become United States Marines. They're up for the challenge. They want the challenge. And I don't know what it is about the Marine Corps, but they always gravitate towards what's hard. And that is, a good thing for us, because war fighting is hard, and we got to create hard men and hard women to go out there and do those things. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, man. Hey, so you've been in the Marine Corps now for 11 years. You're a motor transport mechanic, staff sergeant. You completed your drill instructor tour, which I admired, from as you were doing it. You've done a combat tour and everything. What did you, of the totality of all those experiences, what is the thing that you enjoyed the most?
I think for me, just being a drill instructor overall was a big foundation for me because it just built a different type of challenge within me that pretty much made me realize who I really was. So, and I love the motor T community. I love it. But being a drill instructor was really rewarding because it gave me an outlet to truly understand what I can do for the future. And when I saw that you can create something out of beauty, like something like obviously horrible, and turn it into beauty. You have these kids that come from different backgrounds, and you do what a parent couldn't do in 18 years, which I'm not taking from the parents, but you mold these beautiful, souls into young men that are gonna, fight our war and fight for our nation's battles.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, to be frank with the viewers and the audience, they don't even know left from right. Some of them when they come there, right? Like they really
Yeah,
don't. They have like minimal rhythm. We've seen recruits that can't climb ropes, and then they climb the rope in the third week. Like all those things just build and they build and they build, and that's what makes being a drill instructor so special. And also, I think it's the hardships.
100%.
There's a lot of pain and a lot of hours that it takes to go through that process. And I believe that hardships forge the best relationships and the best friendships moving forward. Hence why you and I have so many friends still from our drill instructor tours and our combat tours as well.
That's correct. I agree with
Yeah.
you. And I think those friendships and those hardships that I formed in the depot definitely marked a big impact in my life that I think it's going to be hard to duplicate because it is a brotherhood that only understands itself when you're in there. So I think it creates
Yeah.
a beautiful bond with your brothers.
Yeah, from a guy that's already, obviously retired now and out, I can assure you, Chris, that there is nothing that will ever duplicate your experience on active duty. Nothing. But it's all about finding different passions and different things that get you excited. And the cool part is, there's other things to do besides play Marine, and life on the outside is really, really good. So right now you're kind of at a crossroads, been in the Marine Corps for 11 years and you got some decisions to make. You got to weigh your options, whether you're going to stay in the Marine Corps until retirement or whether you're going to depart active duty and go do something else. The good news for you, Chris, is that you have been building something and building a brand now for a while. You are a rapper and an artist, and you are out there just crushing it all over Southern California and Texas. And I'm super friggin' proud of you. What inspired you to become a rapper and an artist?
Well, as a child, music was a big part of me. A lot of times, that, I was at home and, we experienced hardships, within my family. For example, my father was incarcerated. So, I didn't really have a father figure growing up. So a lot of the things that I could do was listen to music, write poetry, and it became almost as an outlet for me to speak on the hardships that I was, growing up on. And after conditioning myself a little bit with the music, getting a little bit well-rounded with the lyrics and different kinds of artists, it became now a thing where I could speak on many hardships that my friends were going through. Friends that are single mothers, my friends that were incarcerated, my friends that were going through poverty, struggle, um, different kinds of negative things were in an area where I was from, a lot of people see. So it became a voice. It became a drive for me to speak on the harsh reality of the life that not a lot of people talk about. And unfortunately, it is an ugly life. It's not pretty. It's not green where I'm from, and that's just a harsh reality. So those lyrics that I say, the music that I drive, it's unfortunately it's not pretty, and that's just the truth. It's the reality that not a lot of people are willing to touch on.
Yeah, I can totally understand what you're saying. You're speaking, for the community and the environment that you grew up in, and you're a voice for them. And I think that is, that to me, that's a positive thing. I think that's a good thing. Voice is much needed. So here's what I want to do, man. I'm going to play a couple of clips, of some of your music, right? And show the viewers a little bit about your alter ego, Cartoon Hood Figures. All right, without further ado, here we go.
Snowflakes, blue face on my pants, get a bitch in one shake, ain't fuck with my pedigree, stuck in my ways all day, y'all be moving, get the fuck on my way. They say I'm back now, time to speak facts now. I never left, I'll be coming off fast route. Been the realest boy, what the fuck you talk about? Bitch about it too, so they talking out the ass now. Hopping macked out, fuck with no bullshit. Give me the chopper, I don't gotta give excuses. I'll be swerving in my lane, got me moving. Tune up on a beat, I'm about to go stupid. Been about mine, so I talk my shit. Hood made certified, cause I ain't no bitch. Shit, I've been a hood figure, trying to get hood rich. Graduated from a Regal to that 6'4" drip. I was stugging out the switch, what you know about that? Me and Lokes used to helix in a whip all black. When the yaps pulled up, never gave no slack. Shit is deeper than you think, local, fuck this rap. I don't do this, fuck the entertainers and the music. I've been in the field, fuck these rappers trying to prove it. Seen them in the videos with a toolie like they use it. You ain't fooling nobody, you softer than a cushion. And I'm still Mike wrecking. Tonight there's no stressing. They go bounce to this, ain't no question. No guessing, G's in this essence. And I be wrecking the realest, I stay pressing. Finessing, haters, they know. Boogie tonight, Modelo, time on. Get your fade on and bring your grow on. Then we upside the side, we rocking this song. Yeah, I got love for the west side. Let's ride, never trip on the next side. With a Dutch, I fit it on and it feel right. Cause I'm flinging out the plate, better hang tight. Cartoon, yeah, they know where the real be. Touchdown for the groove back in OC. Get down with the mic, yeah, they know me. We done came down with the fuck, let me proceed. Only gangsters, I just wanna get down. So let me know. I got you all in my sight. We gonna party tonight. Baby, you look so fine. I wanna make you mine. Oh, we.
Brother, that is amazing. That is amazing. I tell you, bro, no fakes. That reminds me of Belly. You ever seen that movie, Belly?
With DMX?
Yeah, hell yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, bro. That is a cult classic, man. Dude, no fakes in that, and I love the spirit of Get Down, because Get Down, man, it looks like everybody's just having a good old time, positive vibes, all things that I really, really enjoy. So hey, appreciate you letting me borrow those clips and showing them off to my audience out here. My question for you is, what inspired you to become, was there an artist that inspired you? And then secondly, what inspired you to like come up with Cartoon Hood Figures?
Oh, I love this question because it's really broad. But music for me has I have different tastes in music. But one of the main artists that inspired me growing up was obviously Eminem was a huge inspiration to what I do. I think that's where I grabbed my griminess, my grittiness from him. He was raw. He had no filter, which is what I loved about him. And that's where a lot of my lyrics, don't have filters, so that's why he was a big inspiration. And then I have different artists that like Tupac, more of the passionate side in regards to the music. Biggie Smalls. I like Run DMC, KRS-One. So I was a big, old school head guy when it came to music. Now Cartoon Hood Figures, people started calling me Cartoon when I was in middle school, and that name was driven from me being an artist. I came up as a painter, and later on it transferred to me being a graffiti artist. No vandalism though, but a graffiti artist. When it came to, I had to touch on that because people were like, "Oh, he's gonna be a vandal."
No, it's all good, man. Go ahead, go on, continue.
But it came in regards to I had really good penmanship when it came to calligraphy and script. So I can paint letters really good. And I did a couple walls. I painted my school. They hired me to paint my school. Yep, there it is. They hired me to paint my school. I painted my school's logo. So it just kind of, everybody's like, oh, cartoon, tunes. So it kind of stuck. Um, Now the label Hood Figures, where everything came into play, and this was just a couple years ago. I wanted to create something that was universal to everybody. And Hood Figures was, I told myself, everybody grew up, everybody came from somewhere, everybody came from, from the barrels or from a hood or from a street. Everybody had a rough upbringing some way, somehow. Even the
Yeah.
most people that were very privileged to grow up somewhere nice, everybody had to face a struggle.
Yep.
So what's better to say that, oh, he's from a hood, or you got a hood. We're incorporate somebody into a hood. Now figures comes into from, somebody that you look up to. It could be a father figure that you look up to, a sports figure that you look up to, a TV figure that you looked up to. Now it becomes something that, who's the idol that you saw growing up that you wanted to be like. So I put them together as hood figures. Everybody is a hood figure. Like, who are you looking up to that is a hood figure to you? Who is your passion? So obviously cartoon hood figures, that's where I made the label come together.
I love it, brother. It's fantastic. And I think that you said something really important there. Speaking about perspective, when you talked about, different people and how they grew up, you didn't kind of just throw shade at them, because they grew up in a nice place. Because I tell you, man, you never know what people are going through. Sometimes some of the craziest and some of the worst things go on in the nicest of neighborhoods, and some of the most vile things happen to people, people who come, from money and means. So that's very good perspective. So for me, bro, my favorite Chicano rapper ever, Kid Frost.
Yeah, great
Straight up,
choice.
bro.
He's a good rapper.
Man, Kid Frost, La Raza, that was my joint back in the day on my first deployment. It was amazing. Me and my brother from LA used to bump that all the time. Anyway, some data behind, your music and behind, you as an artist. So right now on your YouTube channel, you have nearly 2,000 subscribers. As a fellow YouTuber, I understand that's pretty significant. You own your own recording studio, you have your own record label, and you have tens of thousands of people that follow you on social media. Can you kind of talk a little bit about kind of the growth from, writing down verses, when you were small until now where you're at?
So I think it was really hard, and I'm gonna be honest with you, Sorry Major, now that you're in front of me. So I think in the depot, a little bit towards the end of my depot career is when I started seeing a peak and a skyrocket into the music. And in the beginning, it became a thing where I was doing music, but it wasn't nothing that I was taking too serious. Um, right before I came out the depot, I would say maybe 4 months, 5 months before, I already had music on Apple Music, but it wasn't until my transition out the depot that's when I told myself, hey, you know what, I'm gonna invest some money into this business, create my LLC, trademark my name, and put some money behind a record studio. I think once I did that and I started promoting myself, and I started promoting the brand, started running ads on Instagram, on Facebook, I think that's when things started to kind of just go go to different cities. And I wasn't no longer in SoCal. They were touching, the Bay Area. They were touching, the East Coast, down south where I'm from. So it just started expanding on its own, and it was almost like a little wildfire. And I'm happy that it's still going on, and I'm praying that it continues, because I appreciate all my followers and listeners that are tapping in every day.